Hey, welcome to my new farm here in Hawaii. This is a new start for me. I just moved here and bought this land, and it's sort of the culmination of my years of trying and mostly failing to grow tropical fruits in California. I got really obsessed with the tropical fruit world and just overwhelmed with the diversity, and I learned so much in the process of killing a lot of trees and researching and collecting and meeting people around the world growing fruits that I just couldn't imagine not living in a tropical place and having the chance to plant them in the ground and watch them grow into big, beautiful, mature trees dripping with fruit. That dream of mine is probably going to actually come true here. And as the name of the channel implies, you know, we're going to try to grow all the fruits, or at least all the tropical fruits. So let me tell you a little bit about this property. It's 42 acres here in Hilo, which is the beginning or the end of the Hamakua coast, depending on your perspective. You know, Waipio Valley in the north and the Wailuku River over here in the south is sort of the boundaries. And what makes the Hamakua coast special is we have soil. We're on the slopes of the Mauna Kea volcano, which has been dormant for I think like 50,000 years. So there hasn't been any lava flowing here in a long time, and hopefully there won't be ever again. And that means that unlike a lot of places throughout this island, we don't have to dig holes in or you know, smash rocks to plant trees. We have very deep soil. And this farm, like a lot of places in Hawaii, used to be a sugarcane field. And sugarcane's been gone for like, you know, 25, 30 years, something like that. Fortunately, since that time, this field has been grazed by cows, so it's remained open, and it hasn't been overtaken by trees like a lot of abandoned land on this island. So what we have here is just a whole lot of grass. We've got grass here and grass there. We've got short grasses. We've got tall grasses that'll swallow you whole. There were actually cows grazing here until recently. Actually, there's still one cow left. That cow will be gone soon. And I'm gonna have to get a tractor to get all of this grass under control. But besides the grass, the only other terrain we have here is there's a stream that borders the north side of the property. And there's a really steep drop from the top of the grass field down to the stream, which I guess you would call a gulch. And that whole area is very challenging, but we are gonna plant fruit trees on that slope. There are a lot of weed trees there, invasive trees. We've already started cutting down some of these trees, and that's gonna take a little while, but fortunately that's only about 5% of the property that we have to contend with. So we're at about 400 feet elevation, which is a really ideal elevation for growing tropicals, because as you go higher up the mountain, it rains more and it gets cooler, and people struggle to even grow coconuts, at like over 1,500 feet or so here. So this is a really good elevation. We can grow just about anything that we'd want to grow. We get about 150 inches of rain a year, which, to put it in perspective, where I used to live in California, got about 25 inches of rain a year. So this is a lot more rain, and it's evenly spread across the whole year. There's no wet season, there's no dry season, there's just consistent rainfall all throughout the year. So what is the goal of this farm? Well, the goal is not really to grow fruit for market. Like, I'm not planning to plant multiple acres of any one thing. My goal is really to collect as much diversity, as many different species of fruit tree as I can here. If I'm particularly interested in a fruit, I want to grow all the cultivars of that fruit. I want to grow all the wild cousins of that fruit, other plants from its family that are slightly more distant relatives. Like, I want to have all that diversity here. I want to learn what's out there. But there are certain families that I'm going to focus on. I'm really into durians. I want to grow a lot of different types of durians, and there's a huge number. Then there's the world of Artocarpus, jackfruit, breadfruit. But then there's the Cempedak, Marang, and even more, unusual ones like Keladong and Entawak. That's a really interesting family and really delicious. To me, maybe the most maybe my favorite fruit to eat, if I could pick one, would be members of the Artocarpus family. Then there's Jaboticaba, which I got really into in California, and they love it here. Oh my God, Jaboticabas love growing in wet, swampy conditions. So like this is the place. I mean, I think we're gonna grow some amazing Jaboticabas here. Then there's the Garcinia family, the mangosteen family, another one that just loves being wet. They just grow like crazy here. Then there's the sapote, the Potaria sapotaceae family. They're talking about like the mame sapote and the chico sapote, and there's just so many. Then there are the annonas. One of my favorite fruits, cherimoya, people tell me is a little tough to grow here because it likes it a little bit cooler. And that's okay, because that annona family has a lot of other fruits that do really well here. I mean, soursop, it like grows like a weed here. And I also would like to have a nursery, propagate these trees, get other people around this island growing them, get people on the other Hawaiian islands growing them, and maybe even sell plants to the mainland. Though that's a little bit more complicated, because that's a very regulated thing. And maybe also selling seeds. It's a little easier to sell seeds than it is to sell plants. So I could see myself doing that down the road. I'd also really like people to be able to come visit us here. You know, 5-10 years from now, when the trees are mature and producing fruit, people can come visit and taste these fruits. Because one of the most exciting things for me is to visit a farm, especially the farms that have been established for, 10, 20 years and have fruit trees that you can actually taste the fruit from. Like that's my favorite thing to do. I'd love to be able to have people coming from the mainland who've been reading about these fruits on the internet and have no idea where to find them, know that they can come here and they can taste the actual fruits and learn about them. But that's years and years down the line. We've got a lot of work to do before then. And I'm going to come back soon with another video showing you guys what we've been doing here for the last few months. We've started already planting a few trees. We've been developing and clearing some areas. So I'll be back soon with another video to show you how we're starting to make progress here on the farm.